Gonna see Miss Eliza. Gonna go to Mississippi. It really feels like it's been a while, huh? Maybe not to you guys. I think the schedule's still fine, no? But I personally haven't made a video since like last Thursday. I'm out of whack. I'm sort of chilling until this Thursday when we go back to Star Rail and wrap up penacony. But then after that, I guess it's back to the Xian show, but we're on a different ship. Hey. Second time's the charm, I guess. Everyone loves Space China, huh? To be fair, I wanted to make more Star Rail videos during 2.2, but there was just no way, man. The 1 hour video did me in, dog. I never stood a chance after that. So in any case, that's enough talk about the future. Now, we must speak of the present, and there's been something rummaging through my mind recently, and it's this old Skirk interaction between her and Nervalette.
I can finally catch the scent of your power, what it's made of. It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons, but with something very similar to a god's curse mixed in. It's quite a novel blend. I'm sure I've encountered something like this before. What was it again?
I do not know what you speak of.
Of course. How could I forget? You should have the remains of the third descender on your person, yes?
Remains? I've never heard of any such thing.
Huh. According to your parlance, I believe it may be called a gnosis.
Did you catch it? Skirk encountered a gnosis. Skirk, knowing of the gnoses, is fine, given her master was one of the 5 bastard rejects of Khaenri'ah. However, how has she come across this before? How has she come across a god's curse before in a godless nation? I mean, if we're being frank, you can also ask this about how she was seemingly able to recognize the authority of Hydra, which she immediately linked to the Sovereigns, given she said she's been in the Abyss since she was young, right? How the fuck did she sniff this nigga out? Some bullshit. What Sovereigns you met, bitch? Anyway, I wanted to hone in on the Gnosis part and not the Sovereign part, despite both not really making sense, because I'm biased. Well, and because the Gnosis part just has far more exciting implications. Now, with that said, there is already a gigantic problem, a hurdle that we must cross. Do you cross hurdles? What the fuck's a hurdle? A hurdle's the jumpy thing, right? I think I might have fucked that saying up. Skirk doesn't really imply that, you know, she states she encountered this god's curse before, even though that's verbatim what she said. No, you see, what we have here, boys and girls, is a translation issue caught in the wild, its natural habitat. This translation issue uses its fucking powers of camouflage to conceal itself from predators like me from seeing the truth. Okay, I don't know if I should call myself a predator. Actually, no. Just because human society has thrown some fucking horrifically negative connotation onto that word does not mean they can ruin it for the people that have been using it for centuries, millennia, even predating times of antiquity. People like the lions, kings of the safari, the wildebeest, brutes of the safari, hyenas, scavengers of the safari, crocodiles, reptiles of the safari, hippopotamus, the real kings of the safari. These creatures have been calling themselves predators for millions of years. Thus, we cannot deny them their God-given title. And then finally, there's me, because I am also a proud no, I can't. I can't say it. I thought I could. I can't. What were we talking about before all this? Before all the predators speak? Translation issues. Look, Skirk doesn't really say I've encountered something like this before. No, best that I could find, she says something more along the lines of, I should have some idea of what it is, or what exactly is it? I should have an impression. So I mean, it's, you know, it's not exactly a one-for-one rip, and definitely weakens the original topic of this video, but while we're here, I might as well ask, how can we definitively state whether or not Khaenri'ah had a god? Any takers? Now, I understand we can cast doubts on everything we've learned in Teyvat's history thanks to irminsul. I mean, hell, everything we've been told or read about the past could be a lie, and so I want to show the asininity of this plot device and its newest counterpart, the Loom of Fates, because there's now 2 mind-tampering devices that exist within the game, and the latter also affects the Traveler. Now, granted, the Loom of Fates can't affect the old ley lines, but irminsul can, That motherfucker's still in play as far as I'm concerned, and it can weave fanciful lies, but this, Khaenri'ah actually having a god, would perhaps be its greatest lie. Khaenri'ah, the pride and pinnacle of mankind, humanity's crowning achievements, an awe-inspiring realm where machines, wrought by mortal hands, dare to challenge the very gods themselves. But were these marvels truly born solely of man's design, or was there a deeper, divine influence at play? 'Tis the question, my friends. Ah, 'tis the question. You know what's funny about a topic like this is that you can assume this position that Khaenri'ah has in fact always been without a god, and that's fine, and I'd naturally just go, well, why do you think so? And you could just go, well, Dane said so.
Khaenri'ah was a nation without a god, not because it had a god that died or abandoned them, but because it never had a god to begin with.
Yeah, that's great, And then I'd just go, irminsul. He had his mind scrambled by irminsuls. Come on, let's keep going. Don't lose to a nigga that's currently leaning way too far back in his chair and has his legs crossed like he's Obama. Next, you might go, well, what about Ukko in the scribe's box? Quote, I've heard of people who are building a new nation without gods. Perhaps they'll have the power to stand against this world. And I'd just go, irminsul. He had his mind scrambled by irminsul. I win. It's a fucked situation, as you can see, but hey, they gave me the tools, man. I'm just using them. So let's continue. Maybe then you'll pivot to the nations and archons. 7 nations, 7 archons. It does in fact seem like there have always been 7 nations. Quote, 40 winters entomb the flames, and 40 summers churn the seas. The 7 sovereigns were vanquished, and the 7 nations submitted to the heavens. Now, naturally, I could simply go, irminsul. But can I? This passage came from the book Before Sun and Moon. Now, what's odd about this book is it's effectively banned by Celestia, who sentenced Urabashi to death for reading it. Now, this is strange. Common theory seems to suggest that Celestia doesn't want people learning of this olden history. However, is that all there was to it? Why not use irminsul for this very purpose? Why take the risk of leaving the book about for anyone to find and read? One theory could be irminsul, for whatever reason, doesn't work on Before Sun and Moon. How or why that could be, I haven't the foggiest. Quite literally, the only thing I can surmise, and I don't believe this, but, just throwing it out there, because I'm a free thinker, a sovereign citizen, is that Before Sun and Moon predates irminsul, and thus irminsul has no bearing on history that happened before its creation. And now the problem with that is, I've always been preferential to the idea that irminsul has always been on Teyvat thanks to its connection with the dendro element. It's the root of dendro, and this timeline would then suggest irminsul came into being following the war with the Second Who Came, which just feels messy. We already know that's after the war, the gnoses were made, and, that seemed like a rather big undertaking. Although, for all the Zhongli heads out there, if this is true, it could be then that this is why, if he is, which I don't think he is, but if he is immune to irminsul, we cracked the case. I mean, so fuck it, I'll just stick with it. 7 nations, because why not? However, now we need to hone in on the 7 archons, and to say that, I say prove it. Prove that there have only ever been 7 archons who exist at the same time. You might respond, the elements. Yeah. 7 archons for 7 elements for 7 sovereigns. Yeah, that makes perfect sense, actually. I think Paimon actually said something really similar to that.
There are 7 elemental archons and 7 matching dragon sovereigns.
Except wait. Prove to me there have only ever been 7 sovereigns. Prove it to me. You might go, well, there's only 7 elements. Are there, though? By my counts, we're missing 3. The 2 foreign elements, the light element the Traveler wields, which we're just calling imaginary, and the abyssal element the Abyss wields, and finally, there's the power from beyond that Dane wields, that Skirk alludes to, which could be the element belonging to Khaenri'ah's missing Archon.
But you, on the other hand, Managed to defeat the all-devouring narwhal without using power from beyond this world.
Some say a few are chosen and the rest are dregs. But I say we humans have our humanity. We will defy this world with a power from beyond.
Now, I'm sure some of you are probably going, well, if this element is a part of Teyvat's like the other 7, why haven't we seen anyone receive a vision with this element? Good question. Fantastic, even. I wonder if there's an ongoing storyline about a certain element that's essentially vanished from the production of visions. Ah, Electro, you sneaky son of a bitch. Why haven't there been any Electro visions passed out in the, last 3 years? We don't know. So why then can't we consider the possibility that the elements Khaenri'ah may have once proudly wielded also ceased being a part of the vision line quite some time ago? And to that, the easiest answer would be Dane doesn't have a vision, at least not a visible or recognizable one, and to that, it could be because Khaenri'ah was at a place where the god's gaze does not fall, and to that's where I concede defeats. You win. You win. Look, the point of this was more so to show how ridiculous irminsul could be with its stamp rings, because you could just go, you have a fine and reasonable claim? I have irminsul, I guess. And now they've introduced Irminsul New Game Plus in the form of the Loom of Fate, which also affects the Traveler, who was the one rock we had, so... Well, now we're just fucked, aren't we?